and welcome to South African Homesteader. So today we are going to be picking some fresh chilies because we are going to be making some hot sauce from our fresh garden chilies. So here I have some facing heaven, so I'm picking some of these, and these have quite a kick. Okay, so we're going to pick some of those. I have already picked some of these which we're going to be using, and I'll just add that to this. And in here I have some more facing heaven. The red chilies I'm going to be using for a red hot sauce, and in the green I'm going to be making a green hot sauce. So let's get picking. There's plenty of green on here still. So I'm going to be continuing to pick these chilies, and then we are going to go inside and I will show you what I'm going to do with them. So the garden is such a mess, but what I do need, I need a few sprigs of this rosemary for that hot sauce. I'll just get a sprig here. I'll pick it up now. This one here, and here's a sprig here. Okay, so these are the sprigs of rosemary that I'll be using in my red hot sauce. Okay, so these are the chilies that I will be using for my red hot sauce. These are 3 types of chilies. These are a habanero and the facing heaven, and then we have these chocolate cherry as well. So what I'll be doing is I'll be roasting these in the oven at 180 degrees for about 10 minutes, and then thereafter I'll take it out and I'll add some garlic and I will add some oil and I will mix it up and pack it, and then I will put it back in the oven. So these are the sprigs of rosemary that I've picked, which is just soaking in some water. All my chilies I have soaked before I use them in some water, just to get rid of any dust or sand that might be on there. And what I'm going to be using for this recipe is I'm going to be using the red chilies, which is in the oven. I'm going to be putting on some of this oil. Here's 1 cup of oil. This is just sunflower oil. And then 2 cups of white vinegar and 3 cups of water. You can reduce the amount of water depending on the consistency of your sauce that you would like. And then 3 teaspoons of minced garlic. Then I've got 1 teaspoon of Himalayan salt. I'm using this one. This is the Himalayan salt with herbs. And then I'm also going to be using 1.5 teaspoons of coriander seeds and 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. So let's get into it. I'm also adding 4 tablespoons of sugar to this recipe. Okay, so these chilies have now come out of the oven. They've been roasting for about 15 minutes actually. I'm going to be using half of this garlic now, and I'm just going to be putting it over there. These aren't, so I'm just putting on some of the garlic, and I'm going to be using about a 1/4 cup of oil. That's about a 1/4, and I'm just going to be mixing it up. One of the leaves of the sprig of rosemary. I'm also removing all these little stems because I first put it in the oven because it just comes off so much easier. So I'm going to be removing all of these stems before I put it back in the oven, and then I'm going to add my dry coriander and my dry cumin to this, in addition to the rosemary, the garlic, and some of the oil. Pop it into the oven for a further 10 minutes and then take it out, and then we'll go further. Okay, so now, so now we've removed all these stems. That's a chili. And I have put in here the coriander seeds, the cumin seeds, teaspoon of coriander and cumin, and then one of the sprigs of rosemary with about a 1/4 cup of the oil and about 2 teaspoons of the garlic. I'm now going to pop this into the oven for a further 10 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will continue with this making of this hot sauce. Okay, so now I'll be taking this out, and I'll be putting all of these in here, and then I'll be adding all my other ingredients, and then we are going to be blending it. Okay, so all the roasted chilies is now in there. We are now going to add the rest of the rosemary, the garlic, the sugar, the Himalayan salt, the oil, the vinegar, and the water. So let's do that. But awkward working with one hand. What I do afterwards, especially with regards to the salt, I will taste it, and if I feel that I need to add more, a little bit more salt, then I would do that. And there we go. So now we're gonna blend it, and then I will add the rest of the water if I feel I need to make it thinner. So I am blending this until I see the little bits getting finer. And you can see how the color of the chilies is now making the whole mixture sort of a pinky color. I must tell you, it smelled amazing when it was roasting. Got a little bit higher. So in here I've got 2 cups of water with my 2 cups of vinegar and my 1 cup of oil. The rest of the water, the other cup, I will use afterwards if I feel that the sauce is too thick. I will use it to make the sauce thinner. Alternatively, you can just leave it out. And I think that should be about done. So this is the consistency, and I think this is a nice consistency, so I will not be adding the rest of the water to this, but let me do a little taste test because this looks potent. In order to make this thicker or thinner, you can reduce or increase the amount of water. Okay, I'm going to do a taste test now. Oh, it's delicious, but very potent. Tastes like Nando sauce. super delicious. Whew, it's got a kick. Okay, so I've washed out these jars prior. These are all new jars. I've just washed it out in some hot soapy water and dried it out, left it out to dry some more. And now I'm going to be, I actually don't have a funnel, but I'm going to be, oh, and I'm missing, pouring it in there. Okay, so we've managed to fill 6 of these jars with this sauce, hot sauce. Usually I would, after it comes from the blender, I would just give it a quick boil for about 5 minutes, just to cook it down a little bit, to thicken it a little bit more. But with this one, because I've roasted the chilies twice, roasted it before I added my oil, and I roasted it with some of the spices, garlic, with the rosemary, with the coriander, and with the cumin seeds. That was already nicely cooked. So once I blended it all up, and so that is why with this one, this is an instant hot sauce. It's very hot. Just a disclaimer also, when you're making these hot sauces, try and wear gloves, because I'm quite used to working with it now. I work with my hands, it's just easier for me. But you can try and work with gloves, because these chilies, they can hurt your hands. And here is the hot sauce all bottled up. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you would like to follow our journey. And from me, Hyria, at South African Homesteader, until next time.